Welcome to another episode of Shots from the Winchester podcast, where we explore leadership topics from a variety of perspectives. This podcast is brought to you by Greencastle Consulting, your nation's premier strategy execution firm. Fans of the podcast look forward to some new content coming your way in the beginning of the new year. In the meantime, we're exploring some episodes from last year that we really enjoyed. So this next episode is Thorncroft Equestrian. Greencastle likes to donate our time to help clean up around there sometimes, because they have these events that take place. They have people riding horses. They also deal with disabilities, people with disabilities, children, veterans, and first responders, helping them with PTSD, using these horses to kind of help them kind of cope and get a balance back in their life. And just stroking these horses with a brush and just hanging out with these horses, it just calms you down. Mm-hmm. And it's one of my favorite episodes because Kim Longo, one of the instructors there on campus, just sat down with me, had a whole conversation about how these horses help people with these problems, with these issues. And something else that I learned that I was really shocked about before the incident that happened in 2020 where we were all locked down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good way to refer to it.
Yeah. The price of horses were much less. I think she mentioned something around, you'll see it in the video, something around $3,000 or something like that, right? But afterwards, $30,000 for a horse.
Should have bought a horse.
Yeah. I know, right? It's so expensive.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. It's become a bit of a hardship for them because they need to get more horses. You have horses that are getting too old. You got some young horses that are coming in that still need to be trained. So like you've got your stock is coming smaller and smaller in between training and putting them into retirement. So
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm serious. It's a miss. Another in hindsight 2020, I guess I should have bought a horse. But.
Yeah. Have you ever ridden a horse?
I've never ridden a horse, actually. No.
Wow.
I feel like I'm too tall already, so to like put me another 5 feet in the air seems outrageous. But.
So I only rode a horse one time. Apparently my dad is like a prolific horse rider. Like he was like awesome at horses and stuff when he was younger. But I've only been on a horse once that I know of that wasn't at like a carnival or something like that.
Like a pony
or something like that. Yeah. That was in, where was I? I was in Nicaragua.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was like a little horse thing right across the water. Like you can just walk with the horses and stuff like that. You can get a little gallop going. Wow. Yeah. So I figure but probably when I'm hitting my 70s or something like that and I'm looking at retirement, I'm just gonna, own an island and just ride a horse around.
There you go.
That's it.
That's a move. Right. That's we have different visions of our 70s, but hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So let's just jump right in.
Yep.
I recently had the opportunity to go down to Thorncroft Equestrian Center and talk to Kim Longo, who's an instructor on campus. Kim and I delved into how Thorncroft is making a significant impact, providing support to individuals ranging from children to veterans and first responders dealing with mental and physical disabilities, all through the incredible healing power of horses. Kim also gave me a tour of the facilities and gave me a few lessons about horses I wasn't aware of. And you'll see some of that in the episode today. So make sure you watch all the way through to the end. It's a heartwarming and insightful conversation that you're not going to want to miss. So let's dig in. We're here at Thorncroft Equestrian Center with Kim Longo. What do you say? A health and wellness, mental health,
physical, mental health, wellness, mindfulness, safe haven.
People of all abilities are also welcome here, but working with people with disabilities as well. Also, first responders, veterans, people that have dealt with a lot of trauma in their life. What makes the equestrian aspect of it so important for mental health and rehabilitation?
So that's a great question. So when I first came here 3 years ago, they were revamping their veterans and first responder program. And I suggested, just from my own personal background, that we did a 6-week session of ground to saddle. So they could learn how to communicate with the horses and how to become one with the horse. And so the horses actually come to the table with no judgment. And they don't care what religion you are, what race you are.
Right.
They could care less. They want to know if you're going to be nice to them or not. That's
Right.
about it. And so when you start working with them on the ground, we call that groundwork, learning some natural horsemanship, some skills, all of a sudden you start to notice your blood pressure changes. You become calm. The horse becomes calm. If you come in and you're having a bad day and you're all uptight, all of a sudden that calm horse becomes very uptight. So they can actually turn into a mirror image of you.
Wow.
And they will even pick up your breathing. And they will regulate their breathing to your breathing.
Wow.
And so I think that's what hits everybody, that here's this average weight horse is about 1,250 pounds. We have some here that are over 2,000 pounds.
Wow.
So here's this, let's say, 1,200-pound horse standing next to me, communicating with me without words. And like, we're buddies now.
Wow.
And so I see so many people come in the door going, I'm petrified of horses. I did this to try to like get over my fear.
Right.
And by the third week, they're hugging on the horse and they're petting the horse and they're like, oh, this is the best thing. And my blood pressure comes down as soon as I walk in the door. So the horses are really the ones that do the work here.
That's amazing. It's like a symbiotic yet empathic kind of connection that they're forging with communicating in that way. That's amazing. Thorncroft's been around since 1969, from what I saw on the website.
Correct.
What's behind the longevity of a place like this?
So in 1969, the founding father of this farm, Saunders Dixon, his belief was that no matter what your ability or disability, that you should be able to enjoy the activity of being with horses.
Yeah.
And so he was really a pioneer. He was way above and beyond his time. And so he figured out that the horses are the ones that do the work and we just help facilitate everything.
Right.
And so he built this program. This originally was a dairy barn, and then it became a horse farm that people brought their horses here and kept them here, a boarding barn. And then he just started getting school horses in and taking people of every background and every ability and disability and letting them experience life on a farm.
Nice.
And for many people, this was the only place that they felt safe, comfortable, welcomed, not judged.
Yes.
So I think that has been what has kept us going all these years. It's the same motto.
Yeah.
You know, mindfulness, security here, being safe haven, that we don't, you know, everybody here is welcomed.
Wow.
Everybody's welcomed.
And you have over 70 acres
Yes.
of property here.
Yes.
And I've also noticed the trails that you have tactile sensations, things like that, so that the horse, when you're riding on the horse, you can feel like, on one of the videos that I watched, it was like the foam.
Yes, we call that the car wash, the horse
Car
wash.
wash. I love
The
that.
horse wash. So we're very blessed. We have a few instructors here who were actually special education teachers.
Oh, okay.
So that was actually designed by one of our instructors, Missy, who was a special ed teacher for years, retired, became a PATH certified instructor. And she knew that, you know, certain students were going to need to have that input. And so that trail that we have is named after her family.
Oh, wow.
And she is out there by herself all the time working on it.
Yeah.
Till we get wonderful organizations that come in and want to do a community service day.
Yeah.
But she developed that with her background of being in a special education. And I will tell you that I had a student who was nonverbal, and we'd go out there and he wanted to always play the drums on the music wall.
Oh, wow.
And one day he said to me, drums, as clear as could be.
Oh,
It was like the first words I'd ever heard him say.
wow.
And I came back and I was telling his family, like, he said the word drums. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
No, he did. And then all of a sudden he started going, whoa, walk on, drums, whoa, walk on, drums,
Wow.
outside. And it just, that's what it does.
He just opened up.
Opened up.
That's amazing. And you contribute that to being on the horses, being on the ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like what you said earlier. It's like it's magic.
It is magic.
Yeah.
I mean, there's scientific
True.
evidence and
Well,
there's
magic
articles,
sounds better.
but I like magic. And you know what? A horse's walking gait actually mimics exactly what our walking gait is. So if I put you on a horse and you closed your eyes, you would think you were walking on the ground.
Interesting. The last time I was on a horse, I was in Nicaragua.
Okay.
And that was actually the first time I was ever on a horse. And I actually felt like after I got off the horse, I just wanted to just always be on a horse. I actually started visualizing myself as an older man, just like riding a horse, just like, in my retirement, just like riding horses. Like, that was so much fun. That's another reason why, when you just mentioned about the day of service, Greencastle comes out and we love to do the day of service. We're always so happy to come out and, do some of the land work, cut back some of the weeds, things like that to make some of the events that you have here more passable, more available for people. Can you tell us a little bit about the programs that you have available for the people?
Sure. So we have recreational riding, which is, your lesson programs that mostly are children. And that's really takes off after school hours. So from like 3 o'clock till 7:30 at night, we're pretty busy. We also have therapeutic lessons. And they range from, maybe somebody who has autism, somebody who has social anxiety, ADHD, somebody who's deaf, someone who's blind, somebody who has MS, cerebral palsy. So we do have certain criteria that we have to follow because we're a PATH accredited premier center. And PATH is the Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemen. And so they set our standards and our rules and regulations. We're very fortunate that we have something called mainstreamers, which is our drill team of students that go from age 14 to 20. And that is exactly what it is. We mainstream students who have disabilities with able-bodied riders. And they do a drill team and they perform at different events around the area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
really cool. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We also have Mom's Morning Out, brand new program. Kind of get the kids on the bus, come down, take some time with the horses, ride a little bit. We have an adult onward program. So the students who have disabilities who have now aged out of school and maybe don't have a job or only have a part-time job, this is a place they can come, and our instructor Missy teaches that, and they're learning gardening, horse skills, farm life skills, banking skills because they are now doing fundraisers. So we have all that. And then we also have one of our instructors, Carol. She is a para dressage instructor. And we're a premier center for that. We're one of 8 in the United States.
Could you explain what that is a little?
So sure. So there's many different types of riding. Dressage is one of them. I kind of explain it as ballet on horseback.
Oh, I've seen this, yes. Okay.
It's beautiful to watch.
Beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful to watch. It's walk, trot, canter, and you have certain movements you have to do with certain letters. So Carol has been a para dressage coach now. She had to go through many years of training. And she has students come in from all over. I mean, not just Pennsylvania, Maryland, New York, Connecticut,
Wow.
And she holds clinics here a couple of times a year. A lot of the riders are having prosthetics, either in a leg or an arm.
Wow, yeah.
We have some that have had strokes that no longer can use one side of their body. And she trains them to become competitive and to earn their different levels of degree in the dressage world so that they can compete. The goal is to compete in the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
So so it's pretty cool. She runs a beautiful program, and everybody's welcome to join that too. Plus she's an instructor here, plus she's the volunteer coordinator, so she keeps pretty busy. So that's another program. And then I have the Veterans and First Responder program, which is open to any active first responder or retired, and any veteran who would like to come in. And that's a 6-week ground to saddle, where they learn basic horsemanship skills, such as grooming, how to tack a horse. We do some natural horsemanship, which is working with the horse, and the horse doesn't have a halter or a bridle or anything on it. So you have to connect together and work as a partnership. And that brings them a lot of joy. And that's a fantastic program. And we're very fortunate because we have quite a few wonderful people who donate. And so veterans and first responders who come here are fully scholarshiped.
Oh, wow.
There's no fee for them.
Oh, wow. That's
and if
amazing.
they want to continue to ride, they can continue to ride at no fee for them as well.
Wow, that's amazing.
So if they look like they're in a trance, they pretty much are. This is like dozy time. Like horses want to eat, they want to sleep, they want to drink water and poop. That's their big thing.
That's funny. Who is this one?
That's Rosie.
Rosie.
She's like half asleep, right?
Yeah, because the one leg is up here.
Yep, so that's her relaxed state.
Wow.
And if you notice her head's kind of bobbing a little bit,
Yeah.
like, when you're dozing off at night and you're kind of watching TV,
Oh,
you don't want to miss the Philly game, so you're
He's just kind of...
That's what she's doing right now. She's kind of like dozing off.
Let's talk about the donorship, the support, the type of ways that people could reach out to be able to help support a program, the programs here, and Thorncroft in general.
Sure. So basically, there's many avenues that people can help support us. So volunteerism is huge here. We could not run day to day without the volunteers that we have.
And I know you have like 200 of them here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And I would say we probably have 50 to 60 who are here almost 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And because we also have a lot of school groups that come in during the school year. So they come in and help with that. So volunteerism is huge. Just like your company came in, Greencastle comes in and does a community service day. That is huge help for us because I don't know, I can't really chop trees anymore. It's not my thing, but we don't per se have a farm manager, so we kind of all chip in and do that. So volunteerism is great. We host many events here. We host the TRD, which is the Therapeutic Division of Devon.
Okay.
That's always Memorial Day weekend. And this past year, we had about 138 competitors come in from all over.
Wow.
Massachusetts, Maryland, Connecticut. I think we had one person everywhere they come from.
Wow.
And they compete to then become champions of their division and then compete at Devon the next day.
Wow.
So they get to ride at the Devon,
That's
arena.
amazing.
And so volunteerism from Greencastle always helps us set that stuff up. We just host a lot of events here. So anytime somebody can come and volunteer, that's great. Financially, that's how we operate. The more financial help we can get, the more services we can provide for people.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's what our goal is. I mean, we have some long-term goals for like my program, which is going to be extremely expensive. But I think there's such a need to help veterans and first responders out there that we are willing to start working towards those goals. And those goals are really to add probably about 10 more very large horses to our herd, to build a round pen, which is a sort of like an arena, but it's round, and have a roof on it so we can use it in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
And some stadium seating so that we can actually have clinicians come in who are able to help us develop more skills so that we can also help more people.
Wow.
So financially, you can go on our website and there's a donate section. You can also reach out to the emails that are on there. But yeah, we'd love to be able to bring as many people in as volunteers, and as many people who would like to financially support us. That just gives us the opportunity to hire more instructors, to purchase more horses, to help more people. And that's really what we want.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Hi, bud. So when you meet a horse, you make a fist and you put it near their nostrils so they can inhale you, and then they know if you're friend or foe, because they can't see directly in front of them. Their eyes are on the side of their head. And so because of that, oh, I found your tickles back. Because of that, they can't see you coming. So if you approach a horse and just touch the front of their head like that, they get spooked because they didn't know you were there.
Oh, wow.
So you always approach a pony to the side. Yes, dear. I know. Oh, that's so good, didn't it? I know, I got your spot. So they can't reach the spot when they try to scratch themselves with their hooves.
Right.
So this is a spot as a human that we like to give them a little scratch-a-poo for feeling good. And he's one of our super guys too. He goes from, able-bodied lessons right into therapeutic lessons. And
wow, yeah. I think the audience is definitely going to wonder, so I'll ask this question. How are the horses trained to work in this way? Because I know a horse could get spooked or something like that, so I know there's something special that's done with the training in this way, right?
So, yeah, it's an ongoing daily discussion we have here. So it takes us a really long time to find the right horse. And most of our horses that we purchase basically have come through another career, whether they were show jumpers or maybe they pulled a wagon in New York or something. They come to us from many different avenues. We spend countless hours searching for horses. When we get them here, they have to go into a quarantine protocol. That's just so we don't get anybody sick here, any of our other horses sick. After that quarantine time is over, it's a lot of in-hand groundwork. Myself, Angela, Carol, we all work with the horses on the ground. And then it's our instructors who get on them and start riding them. And we like to say our horses are bomb-proof, but they are animals. And they are also, we're predators because our eyes are close together. So horses think we're predators. Their first instinct when they're scared is to fight or run.
Right.
And so when they do get spooked, it's because they really are terrified of something. And it could be a leaf coming down off the tree that just to them looks like some large hawk coming in to eat them, but so the training takes a long time. It takes a very long time. We go up to the arena and we take pool noodles and we play swords with them, and we have all different ways that we desensitize our horses. And some horses, it just isn't for them. Some horses this is a very busy place. And some horses have that inner soul that this is just too much for them. And we usually get a very short period of time to determine that. And after that 2 or 3 week time frame that we usually have, we either will send that horse back to the original owner or, keep him here for a longer period of time. Some horses takes 6 months of desensitizing and getting used to the hecticness that goes on here. Some horses take 6 weeks. Some never. So it's really important when we go out to look at horses that we have many eyes on them. It's usually 3 or 4 of us that go out to look at a horse. And the pricing of horses pre-COVID, we would be able to purchase horses, solid, good, sound horses, not with any kind of issues physically for them. $5,000, $6,000.
Okay.
That price has now gone up to $30,000.
$30,000. What? What was the shift?
COVID.
Interesting.
Supply and demand.
Huh.
Basic economics.
That's an extraordinary amount of money.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter if you're in Malvern, PA, New York, Texas, the prices have gone skyrocketing through the board.
Jeez.
So where we would be able to have our funds for the year and purchase maybe 1 or 2 horses, that's kind of not what happens anymore.
Yeah.
We're always searching, and sometimes we just can't afford to purchase them.
Oh, wow. Well, that's why it's important to donate.
Yes.
Make sure you guys hit that donate button over there.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yes, it's and it hasn't come down. We were hoping that after COVID and things opened up again and life kind of returned to normal, that those prices would come down, but they haven't.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Wow. That makes it... So how many horses do you have now? Here?
We have 32 horses in our herd.
Yeah.
We really value their mental health as well as their physical health. And so we have a couple of horses right now that we are ready to retire. They've done their job here for a very long time. And they're in their late 20s, early 30s. And the typical average age of a horse lifespan is about 24, 25.
Oh, wow.
So we don't tell them that.
Yeah,
we don't tell them that ever.
I don't know.
So we have some of our guys here that are over 30 and some that are approaching 30. And we're constantly looking to rehome them and retiring them to a beautiful area. We have a lot of friends of the farm. One friend of the farm just took one of our guys who needed to retire, and he's now living his best life in Vermont, enjoying life.
Oh, well, hey.
You know, close to Ben and Jerry's. But and then we have a couple of other friends that, you know, have beautiful farms in Virginia and in this area as well. So we do really take into consideration their mental health too. They get burnout.
I could see, yeah.
They get burnout, and because we do expect a lot from our herd, we expect them to be able to do a recreational lesson, walk, trot, canter, then go into a therapeutic lesson an hour later. And that's a lot. That's a big demand.
Yeah.
So, again, you know, we're always looking for horses. There used to be a time, too, that people would donate them to us.
Really?
Yeah. Like maybe they had a show jumper that, you know, sustained a small injury, but nothing that was going to be life-threatening or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't do the job that they were used to doing anymore.
Right.
And then they would call us up and say, hey, I have this great horse, great personality, really a kind soul. Would you like to come look at him? You can have him.
Yeah.
Those days are gone, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those days are gone.
We need that philanthropy again. We need that.
We do.
You know, that's a, especially like with what you do here, that is, that's important. You know, because like you said, the horses are going to start aging out. 32 is going to become 30. So you want to maintain your herd as much as possible. So
yeah, that's what we're struggling with right now is really trying to maintain the herd because they did all kind of age out at the same time.
Yeah.
But you met Oscar. So Oscar's our newest young gun. He's just 5, but he's not even really fully bodily developed and muscularly developed yet. So we are taking very long, slow baby steps with him before he goes into programming. Sam is one of our gentlemen who will be retiring soon.
Oh.
He is close to 30.
Wow.
He's been here a heck of a long time.
Wow.
I want to say 12 to 15 years
in
this job.
Oh, wow.
He deserves a nice, happy retirement.
Absolutely.
He is a character. He is so funny.
Yeah.
Hi, Sammy. You got itchy nose?
Oh.
He is beautiful. American quarter horse.
Now, before we close out, I want to get it a little personal. I want to talk to you. Why do you do this?
Great question. So I'm transplanted from New York.
Yeah.
Grew up on Long Island. I was very fortunate. My family all had horses.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I think I was 3, and my aunt put me on her big 17-hand thoroughbred and made me trot around the ring. So I've always been involved with horses. And when I was getting ready to go to college, I had said to my parents, I'd really like to teach riding to people who are physically challenged. And so I worked at a camp. This is 1981. I worked at a camp, and I came home every day, and I was so emotional about the connections. And I said, someday I'm going to do this. Didn't know what path to go in to get to where I wanted to go. Wasn't very popular back then in the 80s. So went to college, got a degree, worked for lawyers, was a paralegal, blah, 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 got married, had kids, beep, beep, beep. Always kept my horse connection with my horse friends. When my daughter was making her confirmation, she had to do community service. So she said, well, let's do something we both would like. I like horses, you like horses, let's find some place. And I went to a farm, therapeutic farm by my house in New York called Winslow Therapeutic. And I said, can we volunteer? And they were like, absolutely. I was like, you don't have to be like certified? And they're like, no, volunteer. Well, I started volunteering. We found out pretty quickly my daughter was highly allergic to horses.
Oh, wow.
So it didn't really work out too well for her. But I volunteered. And a gentleman came in one day who was paraplegic from a motorcycle accident. And his fiance wanted him to ride. I'm going to get choked up. So his fiance wanted him to ride because she said, I want him to feel like a normal guy. And she said, I read a lot about horses, that their movement at the walk mimics a human's movement. And so I was thinking if he got on a horse, maybe he'd feel like he was walking.
But the natural cadence of it all.
Yeah. So we had this horse named Tazi, and it took about 45 minutes for us to get him in our lift, out of the chair, on our lift, up, over, and onto the horse. And the horse just stood there.
Wow.
And so we started walking there. I was the horse leader. We had 2 instructors and 2 other people kind of helping, because he was like a 6'4" guy. He wasn't a short man. So we're all kind of vertically challenged. And so we had 4 people plus myself helping. And we started to walk, and he started to cry. And we said, are you okay? And he goes, oh my God, for the first time in like 8 years, I feel like I'm actually walking and my body's moving. That was it. I started crying, and I looked at the 2 instructors. I said, how do I do this? This is what I want to do. And I was very blessed to have them help me through this journey. And that,
I'm very empathic, so
I'm good. I'm glad. So that was about 14 years ago.
Wow.
And never looked back.
Wow. Something like that just changes a person, gives them hope, gives them like purpose again. Because I think when you experience an injury like that, and like as we're able-bodied, we don't understand the world that they're living in. And we talked earlier before the camera came on, we were talking about how a curb can be such a challenge to someone.
It is.
It's important to feel purpose after something that devastating, to give purpose to them, to give hope, to give meaning to their life after something like this. And I think that's what Thorncroft is so capable of. And since 1969, I've been doing such an amazing job of it.
Thank you. Yes. We our doors are open. We try our very best to let everybody have that experience, to have that moment of freedom, that moment where they feel independent, where they feel like empowered, like the empowerment that they get from it. And it delights us as instructors. I mean, we'll all sit around and just kind of look at each other like that was, the
like
aha.
An amazing thing, right?
Aha moment in the day. And it's really, the horses facilitate the magic. I mean, we're here just to kind of help everybody get along, but the horses do the magic. And it's really a remarkable place. I mean, I say it at least 5 times a week. Little miracles happen every day here. Little miracles every day.
That's a beautiful, good motto, good slogan.
I guess I never thought of that, but it could be.
Can you tell the audience where they can find the website and how they can donate?
Sure, it's thorncroft.org. And you can go right onto that on your browser. On there, there's a list of all of our programs, And if you go to the bottom of it, I believe, the webpage, it says donate, and you can just click on that button and it'll bring you right to an area where you can make a donation, either online or, come down to the farm, set up a tour. We'd love to show you around and you can come and see what we do here.
It really touches your heart. And to see the volunteers, and I've been watching a few guys walking around doing the windows right now, cleaning up and doing things like that. It's just amazing, that it brings you some faith in humanity.
It really does.
Yeah, honestly, because you see so much, especially if you're on the internet and you're like just inundated with just all the stuff that's going on all around the world, even in your neighborhood, And it's great to see and come to a place where you can feel that you can breathe, that you can kind of get away from that for a bit and to just help and help people, and I think that's what, as humans, that's what we should be doing anyway. We should just be helping each other grow and evolve and.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting you said that, because my graduates, I call them my graduates, who go through the program with me, who are the veterans and first responders, they always say to me, it's a community here. Mm-hmm. It's a community, and I can come here and serve others.
Yeah.
And that is such an important aspect of everything that we do here.
That's especially important for first responders and veterans, because there's that, you lose purpose when you come out of the service. So giving back in some way and being able to help, I think, gives you a little bit of that back.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's amazing to be here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Yeah. We really appreciate you coming out on this very brisk October morning. It's very chilly today. So we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found this content to be useful and entertaining, do us a favor and hit the like button. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. You can stay up to date with new episodes that we post every week. See you in the next episode.